Hi, you have reached the Art of Memories. Please leave a message after the tone.
Here. We are back. Honestly, I love recording on a Friday because no, it's just a really good way to end the week, But good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Monica Anthony, and welcome back to the Art of Memories. What is the day today? November 21st, I think, 2025. We are back with another episode of the After School Special, and this is like really, really fun for me. Like, sometimes I'm like, oh man, should I switch things up? Should I continue what I do? Am I good? But honestly, I got some really good advice last Tuesday, not this past Tuesday before, from someone who's kind of been in like the industry for a little bit. He has a lot of knowledge, and we had a really, really good conversation. So if you're listening to this, thank you so much. But this is my passion, and everybody who I've talked to, especially this individual, like all of the consensus is that keep going, you're doing the right thing, like just do what you love and don't. And honestly, I don't, but everyone always says like don't worry about the likes or the comments or like the engagement with the audience, and honestly I'm not, because I just, at the end of the day, if you watch it, you watch. If you don't, you don't. If you support, thank you so much. If you don't support, that is okay. But at the end of the day, like, yes, I'm doing this for the broader perspective of an audience, but at the end of the day, I'm also doing it for myself because this is what I love. I love being in front of a camera. I love to talk. I love to chat. I feel like I always say this. I have something to say. I always want to talk and just have genuine conversations about life. None of this fake shit. Like, this is what's going on. Like, and it just I don't even know. I have so much going on. Everyone has so much going on. So I just feel like this podcast has a lot of significance, and we'll see where it goes. I'm being consistent. I'm being the engagement. And if you haven't, again, been on my socials, follow at _Art of Memories, 2 S's on Instagram. Follow the Art of Memories on YouTube and the Art of Memories on Spotify. So subscribe, like, comment, tap in. Be much appreciated. On the Instagram page, I do this new segment that I wanted to talk about called Rewind Wednesday. And it's basically where I take content from my past, whether it's from my god old hard drive or this old abandoned spam account that I used primarily throughout high school. And I post content from there because, one, I just think it's so relatable for like that time frame and like people growing up in that time. And also just relatable again for my youth and my high schoolers who were coming up, trying to find themselves. Like, this is shit that I was actually doing at that age. And it's silly. It's meant for you to watch and be like, oh my god, like I used to do that too, make you laugh, feel relatable. This is a feel good place. This is reality. This is no show here. That was who I am. So I said it was going to be a bi-weekly thing, but I just have so much to share. But obviously I don't want to run out of stuff. I honestly won't. I have so much, but I don't want to do it too often because I also want to keep people on their toes. But I also sometimes want to keep engagement up on my page and finding ways, keep posting and stuff like that. So and even like I said in my caption on Instagram or in my bio, like I post and I drop when I feel like it. Again, I'm trying to create a schedule and feel out what works for me and the audience in terms, again, of like keeping people engaged, not leaving the page too dry and giving you guys what you want. But I also don't want to record too much because it's really cool content and I don't want to run through it like super, super fast. So I think like a bi-weekly thing is what works for me in terms of posting episodes, especially like considering the length of them. I'm not gonna sit here for right now, who knows for the future, but for right now I'm not gonna sit here for an hour and a half. I know a lot of people enjoy like longer podcasts, but for what my content is right now, I think the 30, 40, 45 limit is suitable for what the topics are. But that's just kind of where I'm sitting at right now. And yeah, if you're looking for visuals, and if you're not watching right now on YouTube, watch on YouTube. Again, I feel like on Spotify it might feel shorter, but I feel like a 35 minute YouTube video is pretty acceptable. So that's just kind of where I'm at. So tap into Rewind Wednesday. I already have 2 videos up from there. It could be a video or a picture, but I got some good stuff going, guys. Like I was chronically online before being online was a thing. If only, like, I have so much regret not actually keeping up with that and like following into where social media is today. Like if I consistently posted the way I did back then, I'm not saying that like I do want to be famous, but I'd be famous. Like that's just like, oh, I just have so much regret because I was just doing it by myself. I was doing it in a way where it was just fun to me. Like it wasn't again for likes or views or whatever. Like it was fun for me. So I'm like, oh man, like people are actually making money off this shit now. Like I feel like I'm late, but anyways, I'm not pressed about that. So yes, Rewind Wednesday, and like I said, today we have a new episode of the After School Special. Today's episode is actually going to be a little fun. I switched it up a little bit. Well, not really. I mean, it's still on theme and on topic, but it's a different approach. But I thought today would be really fun to talk about the myths about high school and debunking them for all of my youth watching this and helping you guys out, trying not to trying to give you a way of thinking about high school and not the perspective of how TV shows and movies give it to you, and also just like reality as well. So today we're talking about the myths of high school, and I'm going to debunk them one by one. I have a list of about 8. I think we might not get through them all today because some of them might take longer than others, but I just thought it would be really cool to talk about because a lot of them, yeah, are just like, they're not true. They're not true. So let's get into them here. I have them all on my handy dandy iPad here. Also, I'm just gonna hold on to the iPad. Last episode, I like clipped it onto here, and I don't like the sounds of that. Maybe I'm just not putting it on right. I don't know. I don't care, but I like to hold it because I feel like a real host. So let's see here. The first question. So let's get into the myths of high school. First myth that I'm gonna debunk. Only the popular kids have fun. Lies. First, right off the bat, c'est pas vrai. Sorry, you guys didn't know I'm bilingual. Yeah, that is not true. Not only the popular kids have fun in school. I don't want to give false. How do I describe? I wouldn't say I was neither a popular kid either. I really wasn't. I would say I had a consistent group of friends who I had been friends with for years prior to even going to high school. You know, you do add people here and there. So we had a good group. Yes, I was into sports, but again, you don't have to be considered popular to have fun. I know some kids that were super into theater, into drama class that thrived in that. Some even do that like how many years out of like university, high school. Some that do that for their profession like today. Like that is what they do and they thrived at that. So I know for a fact that they had fun in high school because they did that. I know people who did a lot of things like robotics or computer and like engineering clubs. They had so much fun in high school. I would walk around some classes where like those clubs would be held in the hall, and I'd walk around like in the hallways, and bro, there's a lot of people in there. And like, as long as, I think a good way of debunking this myth is that just follow things that you have interest in and you'll have fun in high school. You don't have to be the prom king, prom queen to look back and be like, oh, I had so much fun in high school. No, you don't. Also, again, half of those people are miserable. I promise you, they're miserable. Or they go home and they have super low self-esteem, not confident. Like, please do not base your high school experience or off of popularity. And if you're watching this and you've already been through high school, and to bring this to you in a relatable context, is that I want you to look back and think about, hey, like, did I have fun in high school? So ask yourself that question and think about like stuff that you were involved in and what you did. And I probably guarantee you a lot of the time is wherever you fall against, some people have a terrible, might look back and think, yeah, terrible was high school was very shitty for me. But for the most part, like as long as you followed your interests, whether it was against sports, gaming, anytime, I'm pretty sure there was knitting club. I'm pretty like there were so many different types of things. So find out where that is and stick with that. Ask around, ask teachers, ask like the front reception office. If you just don't know or have people that you can go to lean on, just ask around. I promise you you will find that group. So just align with your interests. So don't listen to that first myth. Let's go to the second one. Some of these are actually really interesting. I'm like really getting into this. Um, Everyone drives in high school. Obviously not. If you're watching this abroad, this might be a different take for you. But at least where I live in Ontario, Canada, you obviously cannot drive in 9 or 10, grade 9 or 10 because you're not of age. I mean, you may have your G1, but you might have your G1, I think, I want to say like, it all depends on your birthday. Let me slow down here. It all depends on your birthday. Here in Ontario, you can only drive G1 or at least take the test when you're 16. So normally when you turn 16, and you don't have to, people go and take the G1 test and now you can drive with someone in the car with you. But you don't get to take the G2 test until you do like driver's ed, and I think you have to have your G1 for at least a year. There's certain stipulations. I'd have to search them up afterwards, but you don't see high schoolers driving until about grade 11 at the earliest, if you have like an early birthday. But for example, I was not driving until late grade 12. Like by the time, again, my birthday's December, by the time it was like exam season in, or maybe like, yeah, late grade 12 wasn't until I started driving. So most of high school I was not driving. Also, a lot of people who do get their license in that time definitely don't have cars like on them. So yes, you may have your license, but you might not have an accessible car that you can take from your mama and papa's home. And yeah, there was high school, people get their license and they're pulling up in their Audis, their mom's Audis first of all, or their dad's Jeep and whatever it may be. That is fine. Sometimes that was gifted to them. That's another myth that ties into that one. Oh my god, that actually kills me about like the movies. It's very like you are very, very, very privileged and lucky if your parents bought you a whip before even you had your G2. If they bought you a whip, you're privileged. But if they bought you that before you even could fully drive, let me bow down to you because you got some very nice parents. So let me just reassure a lot of you that are watching this. Don't feel the need to be like, oh, I'm still taking the yellow bus. The yellow bus picked me up every day in front of my house and I hopped on there. If anything, that is prime service. I wasn't using gas and it was free. It was free. It would literally, my house was here, the bus stop was here. You couldn't miss it. It was so convenient for me that the bus would pick up the people, and say if I missed it, which happened more than I should have, the bus would come around, and the route was that it would come around like my neighborhood and come back around in front of my house, because my house was kind of like on a crescent, and come back in front of my house before taking left to like go the other direction. So if I heard it and I saw him going by, bro, I would just post out on my driveway and walk out, and I knew he was coming back and turn around the corner. Convenience, I would say. So yes, don't feel embarrassed if you can't drive. If you have a late birthday, you're speaking to the queen. I'm here with you. I understand. Also, do not feel the need to drive. I say this to everybody who is in their phase of driving, learning the book. First of all, read the book. Read the book. Read the rules of the road. That it's made for a reason, and I promise you, it's not as easy as it seems. Everyone I know, I was very stressed taking that test. But you also don't have to drive. You also know how to drive. If you don't feel confident enough, honestly, I'm telling you, don't do it. The worst thing you want for the rest of us who do whip nowadays, I don't want non-confident drivers on the road. It's very scary, and you can tell who those people are. So please, if you're nervous, yeah, like you can go take your G1. That's just learners. But if you were still in the learner phase, and just driving to you is just not fathomable. We'll skip over that word. But if just driving to you is just very scary, you're hesitant, you don't like decision making, please get off the road. Like, pack it up, get off the road, and keep practicing. keep practicing. But I don't want you to, one, waste your money applying to take that G2 test, and two, I don't want you on the road either. I really, really like my safety. But yeah, so to debunk that myth, not everyone drives in high school, and not everyone has the ability to drive in high school due to, again, not having access to a car, not having the money to buy a car, and also don't be impressed about buying a car in high school. Please, it's not that serious. But yeah, that's what I have to say about that. So I hope you took something from that. And yeah, let me know, like, in the comments, were you driving in high school? Were you allowed to drive in high school? Did you have your permit by the time you were in high school? Again, the amount of fender benders I saw in the parking lot, like, a lot of people don't know what they're doing yet. You don't want to be in the school parking lot at a high school. I promise you. Very hectic. A lot of, like I said, non-confident people. Get out of there. Next, appearance is key to acceptance. It is not. It is not. Another one that I can truly debunk. This is hard because first, let me just make sure this is still recording. Is it? Oh, it is. Oh my god, my heart dropped. Yeah, it is. Oh, getting into this. This is hard because I do think appearance is important, especially in this day and age with social media and what it shows the younger generation nowadays. And I just don't think it has a good representation about people and I think it just doesn't do a good job of, like, being honest about the realities of a lot of things. And what I mean by that is, not everyone has the Lulu money, the Tasman Ugg money, the like, what is another one? Abercrombie. I was about to say Old Navy. Old Navy is very affordable. What's another? I don't even know what's not nowadays. But all to say is that you don't have to be dripped down in that to be like, oh, high school's whack. People are judging me. Hey, are your clothes clean? You're winning to me. Because I think a lot of people do judge in that aspect of, like, oh, she's wearing that shirt today. I saw her wearing that shirt last week. Or, her Uggs are so old. Or she doesn't have real Uggs. First of all, I have Uggs. I call them Fugs because they're knockoffs. But they're like from Amazon. And let me tell you, they're probably just as warm. Probably more reliable. I just got a new pair this year. My last pair lasted me like 3 winters. And I think they cost me like $65. So, again, this is easier coming from me. I'm not in high school. It's my own money. But yeah, if your parents are like, this is what we can afford, rock it and wear it, and it's clean. Again, the people that you will have in your life in high school will accept you for you. You don't want the friends that you don't have the iPhone 15 or well, we're past that now, I think 17. You don't have this high-end water bottle. You don't have AirPods Max Pro. You're already teaching. It sounds like money signs in my ears right now. No, because in high school, one, you're probably not buying half the stuff for yourself. In high school, I wasn't buying my own winter clothes or my own clothes really in general, maybe not until like 11, 12. So yes, I'm wearing what my parents can afford, and as long as my clothes are clean, there's me no problem. And again, yeah, present yourself in a way how you'd want to be perceived. And I think that's very important for high school because yes, people are very judgmental. They're gonna look at you, and yeah, for white people might be like, her hair is really greasy every day, or her face doesn't look washed, or her hands look dirty. Yeah, so definitely take take pride in your appearance and dress up in a way where you want people to think like, wow, maybe even in their heads, but like, yeah, she looked good today. Again, not everyone's opinion matters, so I don't want you to dress for other people, but it's very important to take pride in yourself and take care of yourself. And that is very important. And as long as you're doing that in high school, you'll be fine. I look back to some of my outfits in high school, and yeah, not everything was name brand. Most of it wasn't. Most of it wasn't. But yeah, I could look back and be like, yeah, at the time, I may not agree with it now, but at the time I thought I looked fly. I felt good. You want to feel good. You want to look good for yourself. And confidence reeks off of you. And that is what's going to attract a lot of the people and a lot of the friends that you might create. And yeah, you might have certain interests, but again, you don't want to be friends with people who are, oh, I want you to be a part of our elite club because yeah, you have the newest and biggest and greatest. That's not how that wants to work, and those aren't necessarily good people if they're judging you based off of that. But yeah, so if you only have a good couple outfits, again, keep them on rotation. Don't be maybe not do things back to back to back. But again, this is just again my 2 cents. This is my opinion. This is what I think will help you navigate in these scenarios. And again, my content isn't only for just people in high school. If you're out of high school, I want this to be relatable. I want this to get you thinking about your past experience, because this is all just storytelling. This is reminiscing. This is just a space where you can think back and be like, wow, yeah, I remember high school. I remember dressing like that, or I remember good times. Like, it's a feel good place. So yes, I want this to be a place where people can go for advice, but I also want this to be the type of content for people who are my age, above, lower, that yeah, they can watch and be like, oh my god, like she's so right. Or if you think there's more to add, or if you don't think my opinion is spot on, let me know. But this is a sharing place, and girl, at the end of the day, this is my shit. So if you got a different opinion, make your own podcast and don't listen to sorry, that was a little aggressive, but that's just to say that. But yes, I want to debunk the myth that appearance is not the key to acceptance in high school. It is not. It definitely, I think appearance will help you almost better, and not in for people accepting you, but it'll help you feel good, feel confident, and walk into that school and be happy of who you are, represent yourself. Just take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Good hygiene, please, as well. Oh my god. I cannot stress that enough. I cannot stress that enough for the youth. Please brush your teeth, put on deodorant, and shower frequently. Shower. I know in high schools they have those showers. If you have a morning practice, lunchtime, shower. And don't use Axe. Yeah. If you're a man listening to this, don't use Axe. That's all I'm gonna say. That's it for that myth. Let's move on to the fourth one. I think this will be the last one today. We can save the other 4 for me next episode. We can do a part 2. I just don't want to get this too long, and I feel like I'm rambling for a bit. But the next myth: the only thing that matters is my grades. Oh no, I skipped one. Forget that. You know in the Men in Black where they like take the thing, forget your memory, skip that. We're not doing that one right now.
No, you won't.
These are the best years of your life. Oh, wrong. Wrong. Yay. Oh, another one I can debunk. Yeah, that's so false. False. Yes, high school for me was fun. I have great memories with my friends, but it is not the best years of your life. Oh my god, that couldn't be further from the truth. I think my first year in university probably trumps like my whole high school experience. Maybe not everything. Maybe not everything. I have a lot of good memories, especially like playing soccer in high school. I think that's like where a lot of mine reside with, is like playing soccer with my sister and like some of my closest friends. I think we went on a lot of trips. We went on a lot of games. Like we were a good team. We were lit. So maybe that's why. But no, truly, like that's where a lot of my memories sit within. But no. High school, for some people, it might. And God, please let me know if high school was the best few years of your life, but it was not for me. It was not for me. I feel like my 20s have been so much fun. I really think my 20s have been fun for me because of the independence part. I've always been someone who just, I'm really independent. I like to spend time with myself. I like to do things in order to better my character and put myself out there. And yeah, like even just like driving, I like to drive by myself. I like to be in control. So I feel like in high school, obviously you're still a kid. You're still 100% a kid. You're still your parents' child, and you listen to them in high school. So I think like maybe in that aspect, I'm kind of like, oh well, like, I had like curfews for parties, and I, didn't always have access to the car, even though I wasn't driving for too much. But you know what I mean? Like, I had certain restrictions, but as you should, because you're a kid. You're a kid. And I get why my parents did what they did. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, high school is just a phase. I think it is a very, and not to get it wrong, but I think high school is very pivotal years, and I think it does really help shape you moving forward because of that time frame of being like 13, 14 to 17, 18 in high school. I think it's very, very important. But yeah, best years of my life, absolutely not. There is so much that you have yet to experience or will experience. And let me know again if you have already done high school, like, tell me, was it the best 4 years for you? It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. University was so much fun. Again, the independence and being out and meeting people. You have a lot of more responsibility. And I think like going into university, like that's when I really stepped up, and I was like, all right, like in the eyes of the law at this point, like I'm considered an adult. And I think that's what also shifts the mindset. Is like, yeah, you're an adult. Your teachers were not going to hound you for your homework. If you do not get your paper, you will fail this course, and you will have wasted mommy and daddy's $3,000 for that course, and you will have to take it again. So yeah, there's a lot more pressure, but I think coming with that, gaining that independence and that respect from my parents, and I could just show them like, yeah, I could do it, and yes, I can be out, and I can organize my timetable. I'm not leaning on everyone for help. I think it's also very important for your parents to give that to you as well. So I think high school is just important for you to have fun at the end of the day. Take your grades seriously and just start to think about the future a little bit. You don't have to start doing that in 9 and 10, but I think 11 and 12, yeah, like enjoy the time of sitting in class with your friends. And like, everyone has that memory of sitting in the lunch cafeteria room and sitting at those tables, and bro, you're banging on the tables, making whatever type of noise, scrolling on people's phones, drama, people are screaming. It's not like in the movies where there's food fights. Maybe your school did have one, but just enjoy the time eating whatever lunch they were serving at the caf that had like 1,000 calories. Just eat it. Do it. Spend the money. Go out for lunch. Hang out. Have spares. Go to someone's house. Like, it's high school. When I tell you I thought high school was stressful, I had no idea what these bills had for me coming. No idea. Enjoy the time. Get your homework done. Hang out with your friends. Do stuff that interests you, figure out who you are. It's such a great time for exploring and discovering. Of course, they always say that about your 20s, but I think high school years is so important. And try to make friends, put yourself out there. I can't explain that enough. Put yourself out there. I feel like personally it gets harder depending if you go away or stay for university. It almost gets harder because you kind of have to do it yourself. Like, you kind of have to put yourself out there in university, unless like you have a roommate or whatever, people going to the same uni. But still, it's a different ballgame in university. So yes, absolutely not. I'm debunking that myth. High school is not the best years of my life at all, and I might have not even experienced the best years of my life yet. I've had a great last few years. Amazing. I'm so blessed, but who knows what's to come, especially with the art of memories. This is just baby years with this podcast. Who knows what's to come? So, oh my god, this is so great. I don't know. I'm very happy right now. Honestly, I think there's probably so many more myths that I could probably talk about and debunk. So let me know. I'm going to do some more research and get a bigger, longer list. Like maybe like maybe once a month. I don't know. I'm figuring it out. But maybe I do this like a thing, like I do like a different topic, go back to miss a different topic. I'll figure it out. But I really do like the segment here. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of the After School Special. I know I really did. Please tap in with my content. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But you can still always give it a like. Thank you so much. I will see you next time and have a great day. Bye.